This video is sponsored by Notion. Use the link in the description below to give Notion a try, and if you're a student or teacher, use your school email address when you sign up to get a free personal plan. All right, this year is nearly over, which means new year, new you, right? Well, no, probably not. And today I want to talk about the main reason why New Year's resolutions tend to fail after a week or two. At some point in your life, you've probably heard the adage, wherever you go, there you are. Lots of people think that they can magically improve their lives just by moving to a new city, or finding new friends, or quitting their jobs to become a full-time digital nomad, and travel all the time. And sometimes they're right. Sometimes your environment or the people around you really are holding you back, and they are the reason why you're unhappy or unable to get anything done. But more often than not, you make this big change, you find yourself in your new surroundings, and you're dealing with the exact same problems. And that's because you can't run away from who you are. You can't run away from your own shortcomings, your bad habits, your tendency to commit to way too many things. Whether you find yourself waking up in suburban Colorado or a beach in Bali, these things remain with you unless you work to confront them and change them. Wherever you go, there you are. And the same applies to when. The new year isn't some exotic destination that's going to solve all of your problems. You won't magically gain limitless discipline or a stress-free schedule just because your phone's lock screen says 2020 instead of 2019. Oh, and those distracting Instagram notifications won't go away either unless you turn them off. In fact, believing that next year will somehow be different is nearly the same as believing that you'll get stuff done more efficiently next week. In both cases, you are assuming that your future self will somehow have more time, more energy, more motivation. How? Well, somehow. In fact, that very question is something that future you will be better equipped to answer, right? There is a difference though. Unlike a new week, the new year holds a certain psychological significance. Even though we know logically that dates are just arbitrary markers, there's still something special about January 1. There's a feeling of a new beginning in the air. And this feeling, this psychological significance, gives most of us a motivational boost that we don't get at any other time of the year. But this is a fleeting boost. It's a caffeine high. So instead of tricking yourself into believing that it'll stick around and finally push you into getting into better shape than Rocky while also meditating and taking cold showers and practicing piano 3 hours a day, every single day without fail until you gain the respect and adoration of every single person in your city and are buried with the key to that city, instead, respect it for what it is. It is a temporary boost of motivation, and you can either burn through it, starting something that you won't stick to, or you can use it intelligently to start building some long-term habits. So, assuming that you want to do the latter, here are 4 things you can do to make sure that it actually happens. First, get started now, even if January 1st hasn't yet rolled around. The anticipation of the new year itself is powerful, so you really don't need to wait until New Year's Day to get started, especially if you're planning on starting that day with a hangover, and you know who you are. Now, you should still do this even if doing so means doing it in a compromised way. If you can't go to the gym today, you can at least do some push-ups at home. If you can't practice piano for 2 hours like you want to, well, you can still practice for 15 minutes. Remember that the psychological significance of the new year is powerful and in multiple ways, including the fact that it can trick us into believing we're going to have more time once January 1 rolls around than we really will. And think about it. If you don't have 2 hours today to practice, and you didn't have 2 hours a day last week or the week before, what's so special about the week after January 1st? You're probably going to have the same exact limitations unless you take drastic action. So start today with the time and the resources you have and keep that pattern going into the new year. Secondly, set a resolution for a week timescale, not a year timescale. So instead of I'm gonna go to the gym every single day next year, say I will go to the gym and work out every single day for 1 week. Then if you're successful, keep it going onto the next week. And if you're not, scale it back a bit. In other words, start small. Again, that psychological significance of a new year brings a lot of motivational energy with it, but it's for starting. It's not going to last long term and you can't rely on it. So instead, set a small scale goal that has a more limited, realistic time scale and prove to yourself that you can stick to it. Use that energy to have 1 good week. 3, you're not going to succeed if your health habits are broken right now. And this is something that I often need to hear. So if you're a creative person like me, or you have a lot of career goals, don't make those more ambitious than they currently are if right now you're not sleeping enough, or if you haven't had time to go to the gym or exercise lately, or if your diet's all out of whack. And I know you've probably heard this a million times because I have too. And I wish that I was the kind of person who could just hear this once and then take it to heart forever. But I know myself. I get tunnel vision when it comes to my art goals, my career goals, my creative goals, and my health is often the first thing that I'll sacrifice. It's kind of weird, right? Our health and our time are kind of the first things we'll throw to the wayside whenever we get another kind of goal. And when it comes to money or perceived career progress, we're often unwilling to budge. But you can't make optimal progress without a body and a brain that are in full working order. So this year, work to change that. If your health habits aren't where they should be the first things that you focus on. Finally, number 4, track your progress, including any failures, and be specific about your failures. If something derails you, make a note about it so you can analyze it and be sure to avoid that particular failure trigger in the future. Now, of course, these aren't the only things you need to do to stick to your habits in the new year. But again, the key here is starting small. If you can just manage to put these 4 things into action, getting started now, operating on a smaller time scale, prioritizing your health, and tracking your progress and your failures, then you'll have a much more successful new year. All right, so as many of you know, I am a huge fan of Notion. It is one of my favorite productivity apps, and that's for good reason. It gives you a huge set of incredibly flexible tools that you can use to get a lot of your work done in one single unified platform. You can take notes, you can check off tasks, you can create templates for just about anything, you can manage databases, and there's even this public template gallery where you can view and download and duplicate templates made by other people, which lets you do a lot of different things. There are budget planning templates, there are habit trackers, there's one for doing a year-end review, there's even one for managing video projects, which was built by me and which I use basically every single time I make a video, and which has transformed the way that I manage my video projects. Now, if you haven't given Notion a try yet, now is a better time than ever to do it, because the team over at Notion recently made their personal plan completely free for students and for educators. So if you don't have an account already, get started by signing up with the link in the description down below, and when you do so, make sure to use your school email address if you are a student or an educator to get that free personal account. I've been using Notion every single day since I discovered it back in 2018, so I am incredibly excited to be working with them. Again, you can get started by using the link in the description down below to sign up, and once you do, definitely check out the templates in their template gallery to see what you can create with your own Notion account. Thanks as always for watching this video. Hopefully you found it helpful. Hopefully it's gonna help you have a more successful new year, and if you liked the video, definitely hit that like button to support the channel and to let the YouTube algorithm know that maybe these videos are worth watching for other people. If you haven't subscribed yet, you can do so right there so you get notifications when new videos come out as I release them. You can also check out my music channel right there if you want to check out some of what I've been doing recently while not making videos. Last but not least, I'll have a couple more videos on screen that you can smash your face into your phone screen to watch. Otherwise, go do whatever you want, because I'm not your dad, and I'll see you in the next video.